How's it, beloved? Welcome to episode 2 of Ora K. And I have got another guest for you guys today, my beautiful friend Lesego. So I don't know if go go introduce and how go introduce her. Go na fan girl.
Hey, we just spoke about that.
But I'd actually like to do that.
Okay.
I'd like to, guys. Lesego's my friend. Ne? Lesego. Lesego tsene sekolo batho. Lesego badile.
And she's still studying.
And she's studying. Lesego did something that no one has ever done. She did 2 degrees at once. I don't think anyone has ever done that. No one has ever done that.
No, there are people who've actually done it, but where we come from, it was predominantly white people who actually done it.
Who did that?
I was probably the first black person who did that.
So it's bizarre. It's unheard of. Personally, I've actually never heard of anyone that has done that, and I think that is really one of those reasons why. It's one of the main reasons I really wanted to speak to you today. And she is still studying, mind you. She's doing another degree, a 3rd degree. Oh, 3rd degree. Remember that show?
Yeah, double patra.
So she's doing her 3rd degree, and she's literally just under 30, you know. And a friend, I wanted us to talk about, you know, achieving things, couple achievement versus time, and the wins of it. You know. So I think the similarities between you and I is that we didn't finish our degree at the same time as our peers, right? We did matric in 2012, and the people we went to school with finished their degrees at 2015, right? But fast forward, we're good. Fast forward, you're still good, right? And I want us to talk about kuri yona that thing ya goreng ha gona timeline man, and timeline high what's that word? High straight.
Yeah, like it's not a linear road.
Linear, yes.
And I just feel like it's just something that people should understand. Like, it will never be a linear road. Okay, maybe never is pushing it, but there are very few people who can achieve all of that, like, linear. You understand? But for most of us, like, especially for most Black South Africans who grew up maybe in Mkomagation, townships, whatever, it will never be linear. You understand? So I really think that's the first step towards embracing everything, is that everything will happen at the time that it's supposed to happen.
When it should happen.
But the pressure, the unnecessary pressure that we put ourselves in, to the point where when I'm 25, I'm supposed to have a BM, I'm supposed to have a house, I'm supposed to, you understand? Like, there's a danger in not letting life happen. And I feel like that's what kills most of us. We don't make room for life to happen. And when it does happen eventually, we don't even have that bandwidth to be within when life happens. And I'm not in any way trying to make any comparison between us and white people, because it's very unfair. But I think that's where our counterparts, Makhoa, beat us in, because for some reason I think they have that contingency. I don't want to say contingency as such, but they have room, leeway for when life happens. Because we're not the only people that fail. Makhoa fail. I mean, we both went to the book. We know it happens. It happens a lot. But I think with us is that we have been psychologically channeled to make sure that, like, our life happens in certain stages, in certain years, that we do not make room for disappointments. You understand? We do not make room for the fact that your mother might not have money next year. Your mother might be retrenched next year. I mean, hell, you might even have a mental illness, and that's okay. You won't have to take a break. But it's because and I also predominantly blame this from our schooling, especially coming from the school that me and you come from. I'm not going to mention that school on camera because, child. But anyway, from the school.
But if you know, you know.
If you know. If you know, you know. But coming from also the school, I just feel like we were just taught like there's a certain timeline, and within that timeline you have to achieve what you need to achieve, and it has to happen at this, and it has to happen at this at all costs. You could literally be dying, but you need to get 7 distinctions. You could literally be dying, but you need to get that you need to finish your degree in X amount of years. But no one ever makes room for the external and the internal factors that these are and it's very important. I mean, I think you probably know that I failed for as much as like, and this is what I'm always like. I always tell people, and a close friend of mine told me that it's a trauma response. But every time someone wants to put me there and be like, "Yo, you did so well. You did this and this and this and this," I will never ever start with my wins. I will always start with my struggles because.
Had you those wins without those struggles?
With those struggles.
Exactly.
And I had to be at the valley in order for me to appreciate the peak. I think you know that I got academically excluded at UWC, right? And it's not even because of whatever. Like, I was young, and I'm going to Cape Town for the first time. I'm seeing all these young men. Because it's crazy.
All of those things, yes.
Child, Cape Town was, listen, and I actually told my dad if I were to do something different, I wouldn't change anything. I'm sorry to him. I'm sorry, Dad. I wouldn't do anything different. I wouldn't even try to pass or whatever. No. And life happened, right? And I got academically excluded in UWC. I literally failed my first year, and then I had to sit at home, and it was not nice, man, you know, because obviously, especially from where I come from, like I was one of those students, if you can say, academically excel in like from primary school. So like we said, there's a certain pressure that comes along with being an academic achiever. So you're supposed to get everything, like you're supposed to get it right all the time. Like you're supposed to, you know, do everything, and it's really not the case. You understand?
It's not. I remember. I mean, I pretty much have a very similar story. I went to Bot, and then I dropped out in 3rd year, but it wasn't 3rd year academically. To be quite honest, it was just my 3rd year in Potchefstroom, but it wasn't 3rd year academically. Life happened, right? Life happened, and for 6 months in 2015, I sat at home. And sitting at home also because, like you're saying, where we come from. I come from a household yamatichere also.
Same.
Right?
Yes.
But to baba iti, now how is it that ngwanako and all of those, so all of those things, I sat home and I sat with that shame. For one, I mean, I left because I really needed to. I left because I felt like I was going to die there if I don't leave, to be quite honest, because I was proper depressed, right? I remember the day that I left, I called my mom, called her at night, just please come fetch me. Because I knew at that time, I really can't do this anymore. And I'm grateful that they gave me that opportunity to just sit.
That leeway,
you understand? And not everyone gets it. Not everyone has that, like you've been saying. And especially not black kids. Black kids don't get that.
Definitely not.
Because we just can't afford it. Because it's also money. I mean, I stayed in Potch for 2.5 years. My parents were paying for me.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap.
Because I was eating, rezi, you know, it's all of those things. And not everyone gets the chance. However, even in all of that, I was still sitting in that shame. I was still sitting in that, I have failed. I remember our peers graduated at 2016 because they finished at 2015.
Yes.
Our peers started graduating. Now you are seeing those things. Now I think I was off Facebook for a bit because sana. But I got out of it, luckily. I was able to get out of it, and I went to the Valley, and then I started afresh. And then I started school again. And that's where, again, that conversation, linear road comes in. I literally started first year when my peers were starting their first jobs. Like when our peers were starting their first jobs, that's when I was starting my first year again. I had to get to the Valley and explain, no guys, now you have to start explaining things to people.
To people, yeah.
You know, but now you were able to get into a space like that, start over when you got to Potch, and you did amazing, because now man we
Yeah, like you do, like yo, bruh. Like I remember as well. You know, it's now that you're saying the story, it's actually quite painful. But I remember for that year, I couldn't even stay high because I was also carrying the shame. So I was staying with my aunt Maggie. Shout out to my aunt. She's like my bestie. Like if you know me, you know I've like my aunt is part of like
the story.
Aunts
are like that. I also stayed with my aunt.
Exactly. So I stayed with my aunt for like a whole year, hey? And like she carried me, bro. Like my aunt carried me. Because my dad, for some reason, could not understand. Unfortunately, my papa is teacher, and he still holds those views,
values, and views.
Like we are sustaining you, we are paying you for all of this. You understand? And also, even my former teachers as well. Like that's why I don't like the school that we come from.
Oh no,
my
same.
God.
Oh no, same.
You know, you guys have teachers. I don't want to even talk bad about those people, but if any of no, I should probably not say that. No, I'll not say that. But
probably shouldn't say that on camera.
I shouldn't say that on camera.
But I get what you mean. Nalina, I honestly feel the same way. Kabona, listen, I like you very much, but from a distance. Like I'm not gonna be those students who go back to their school.
I'm not. I'd probably go back for my physics teacher. Shout out to Memurua.
Oh yes, I remember
I'd probably
her.
go. She like she taught us life sciences.
Oh, I remember Memta.
Yes, those are the only teachers I'll probably bend my back. What?
Bend
backwards. Yo. But otherwise, that's cool.
Yeah, Nalina, honestly, I really.
Because how are you in that position to be a teacher, but you're the very same teacher? You go into a classroom and say, yeah, Lamona XYZ.
Girl,
hey, you're a teacher.
Why is that your chat as a teacher, right?
So I was also carrying that shame as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've proven them right. All of those.
The naysayers. All of those naysayers. Now you've proven them right. You know. But while back at the ranch, I feel like because you at that time you are growing up and you are becoming right.
That's the perfect phrase. You are becoming.
You're not
becoming anything.
You are becoming. And in your becoming, you know, or you get to know the things that you want.
Exactly.
And you get to realize what you need to do to get there. That is why now you get back into that space. Yes, school. I mean, you could have done anything else.
No, I could have.
You had the opportunity to or decide whatever it is that you want to be.
And the world is your oyster.
The world is your oyster, literally, right? But because what you wanted, and again, you would have excelled at it anyway.
You know me.
Because you have become.
Exactly.
So you got into that space and you did that. You did school and you did so well. And not if of what happened.
And that's never the intention.
Not that, but and you are not trying to outsmart or be better than that
anyone.
person.
Exactly.
No, you are just trying to you are morphing into a better you, a new you. You are morphing into you. You are becoming, and I don't know, man. It's really fascinating, and I really wish that it wasn't frowned upon so much.
I totally agree with you because, man, there is some sort of beauty that is unspoken about rediscovering yourself. And I'll take the words from Uzozi, asserting yourself.
Fully.
Outside societal standards.
Fully.
Outside. Because I think also, if we become honest with ourselves, most of the things that we want to do, like, like you want your parents to be like, but once you escape like that thing, man, like it's the becoming. It's more about me than it is about my teachers, than it is about my things. Like timelines don't even make sense.
They don't exist anymore because now
you have a set idea on what's happening. And I'm happy that my becoming, quote unquote, happened in my early 20s. Someone's becoming can happen in their early 50s. there isn't a set time or a set standard on where or when rather you are going to rediscover yourself or discover and the time or become. And the thing that I'm always saying to people is that you are allowed to change as much as you can.
Oh, absolutely. Every day is a new day for you to become anything else. You know, I like my mother. My mother.
Shout out
to my mom, like fully. Shout out to my mom. Shout out. I love that girl so much. My mother is the perfect example, or another perfect example you're becoming. Fast forward, and all of those things. She did all of those things. When my mother went to uni, all of her age mates, the people that and all of those things, all the mothers, whatever, they were already working. And everyone is either a teacher or a nurse or a
policeman.
You understand? So all of those people, and all of those things, they were already in their careers. But she went to school. My mother went to uni. She went to go do her BA, and she came back many years later. But she was explaining to me that I started working like a full-time job as a teacher, probably at 35 or 32 or something like that.
Crazy that you say that, because Lina, so where I work, there's like YPT, young professionals in training. So you'd get that your YPTs come fresh from varsity, like at 22, 23 years old. I think I was a YPT at 27. What, was it 28? I've been working for 3 years, so it's 27.
27, yeah.
I've been a YPT for like, I was a YPT for a year. But like, can you understand, Khori, by the time I got to work, people my age, by under 4 years.
Babereka. No, exactly.
You understand?
No,
and
exactly.
then I had to like, YPT. But that never deterred me, because like,
absolutely,
like I have the whole vision. You understand?
That's exactly the story with my mom. I love her story so much. I mean, obviously she tells it better, and I'm just but she started working Sana at 30 whatever, her first real job, and she has done so well for herself. When she retired at 55, she was like, there's nothing really left for me to do. There's nothing really that I have not done. She says that she has always dreamt of being a teacher. That's all she ever wanted to do. She's amazing
and
at it.
And she did exactly that.
And I did exactly that.
And you know
got the t-shirt done. I did exactly that. Exactly where my peers are. I mean, anything.
Yes, exactly, yes. That's exactly with me as well. Because like, right now, like, I don't want to sound weird, but I have my own house. I have my own car. But like, you understand? Like, I'm paying for my fees. Like, there isn't a set.
Timeline.
You understand?
There isn't a time at all.
The people who got their cars at 25, at 23. I also have a car.
Now you have it as well. Exactly.
You understand? And it's not a competition or anything, but I'm just saying that there is beauty in knowing that your turn is going.
Your turn is coming.
It's coming. And I just wish, especially for us females, you roll that pressure of saying that, oh my gosh, because we're almost 30, right? I'm almost 30. Because I follow this other group on Facebook. It's called Ntabiseng Relationship. What. So right now, I think also we should get in the pressure social media.
Yes, that's definitely where we're getting to.
So people are like, I'm 30, I don't have a husband, I don't have a car, I don't have...
I've seen the TikToks as well.
I've seen the TikToks as well. Have you seen them?
Where the girlies feel like Havana Nix.
And I'm not trying to invalidate them, ne?
Their feelings are valid.
Very valid. My aunt always asks me this one question. Who comes up with the standard? Who comes up with the timeline that at 30 you're supposed to have this? And who? She's like,
why
who is the founder?
A norm? Why is it a norm? We put so much. We put so much pressure.
The timeline, if you're being quote unquote honest, why is it only applicable to but
two women? It is only men are not in a rush. Are not put to the same standard that we are. We get told, hey, your baby, it's your fertility window, or baby, it's biological clock. We get told all of these things, but a man at 30 is just living their life.
Like, and I'm in no way saying bad things about Batongokasi. I love every one of you except Baba Nangotla Len. Anyway.
Anyway. You see what I mean about men? Men are chaos. Chaotic.
But look, and I'm not judging with anything. Shout out to Motown, by the way, 0314.
Period.
That's on her. If you know, you know. I don't have nothing against the niggas.
I keep all the time on my Facebook. Keep all the time on my Facebook.
I love you guys.
And Facebook.
Have you ever had anyone
never. But he likes the word.
Mara.
Which is good, which is fine.
I love that.
Which is fine. I just wish we had the same. Exactly. We were treated the same way.
If I would take someone in the same age, Kokas, who's in the same position as those men,
oh no, they're not gonna get the same grace.
Exactly.
What if we about cool? They're not gonna get the same grace. But suddenly we don't get the same grace as men get. And we really need to. You are right. It's important. I feel like this is why conversations like these are so important, because we need to keep mentioning just how unimportant it is. Just how. Exactly. When it's not. Do what you need to do. Listen, do what you need to do.
Basically, do you.
Go to school if school is your thing. Go to whatever that you need to do if that is your thing.
Start a business if that's your thing.
If that's your thing. However, guys, side note, go to school.
I'm always saying,
go to school. Whatever it is that you do, guys, go to school.
Nah, guys.
I promise you. Zena school. You know, my brother, if there's one thing, even my sister, my cousin, really, they're the same age. You can be anything you want. In school.
And I feel like we don't talk about that enough. And I'm one person. I believe in versatility. Like, I believe a woman can be a plethora of things. She can be multi.
You can be everything that you want.
But guys,
we can do
or Coxon City. It's fine. But guys, and I know we always say, yeah, school is not rewarding, but and like I'm as middle class as you can get, but I'm comfortable. And there's a single thing that I attribute that to, and that's school.
School. That's what I always say, guys. Sana, I preach school. Maybe also it's because hakina any other world view outside school.
That's toxic. You must have. I used to be like you, but
no.
God found me.
No. In a sense that, listen, I understand that people can be anything. I understand that. I get that. However, I don't see the reason why I'm okay, the thing, I think school. However, try by any means necessary or possible school. Try it.
And thing is, like,
I literally work an entry-level job, right? But kishapu ene kiteni school kishapu, like guys in school.
Yeah, no,
period. Guys in school.
Like, I believe in business because I'm
get
also
3 degrees like Lesego.
I am sorry. Guys, I can cook very well, and I'm a creative. Like, and I'm only exploring those avenues right now. Like, I'm a creative. I can cook very well. Like, I have a very design-ish eye. But Skolo is the benchmark for me.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So currently, this year, so I went back to school. I went back to school last year, right? This is my last semester. So I want to learn school. However, especially this year, I'm doing so many things, Sana. I am back to social media strategy and management, community management. I'm doing that on the side. I'm doing this podcast. I am doing the NGO. Shout out to Khudisana Youth Empowering Foundation. That's my home for real.
You're still doing that?
I left thank you so much. I left when I joined my current job because I just needed to settle. And I spoke to the CEO, listen, can I withdraw for a bit, like I participate in anything at all, because I needed to sit and be still and gather myself. And I did that, and I've had enough time to do that, and it's fine. Still, now I'm back to doing things that I love. You understand? I'm doing things that I love. I love this that I'm doing now. I love the social media side hustle. I love the NPO business, the community development, youth development in particular. I love that space, and I'm doing those things. However, skolo.
I mean, besides skolo, I feel like what we also need to emphasize is that it happened at the time when it's supposed to happen, or it was supposed to happen. Like, we're not chasing in timeline, because like with us, you'd be like, by 30, I have to be a corporate body. I have to get my NPO. I have to get this.
I have to be the CEO of
you
the
allowed
NPO.
life to happen, and here you are, content.
Exactly. I gave it time. You know, I think I've mentioned to you quite a couple of times. I remember you had a chat with me.
Like, in my life, how I don't stress. Like, never say or school.
I think that's what I was saying.
I had a chat with my cousin Kutlano Njoro as well. She's doing great things as well. Amazing. Shout out. She was like, Lebza, you call each other Lebza. I'm so nervous. Like, school, I'm like, hey, never school.
Yeah, so
I remember that conversation so well. I'm like, girl, like, what do you even mean? Like,
what are you talking about?
No, please, school.
No, so with me, that was the thing as well. At those times when I was still either nervous or whatever I was feeling at that time, I was okay with it. I was letting, again, timeline be. I was letting things be. I know very well that had I done it at that time, I wasn't going to do well.
You weren't, ne?
No, I knew I wasn't going to do well, because nearly pressure you get me. So nearly pressure. But last year when I decided to register, I think it's the next day. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what school I wanted to go to, because I had done my research. But the following day, okay, I'm applying. Within a day, I had submitted my papers. Within a day, I was registered, and I knew I wanted to do that. I had regular body pen, body notebook before I even registered, because I knew that is what I wanted to do, right? And can I sa first week timeline or anything? Can I sa jaga by 30 I must have. I joke about this a lot on my Facebook. Hey, ke nna fela ke sempeneng ke na le undergrad fela and what. But
no, I also joke about it as well. I don't know if think about my boyfriend or who the other day, and I'm like, hey, it's getting crowded there by 2 degrees.
No, but
I was genuinely joking.
No, I get you. I
was genuinely joking.
So, I make jokes like those. Hey, sweetie, hey, kidna fela what. But I don't let those things pressure me.
No.
And I did not let them pressure me. Like I'm saying, when I started school again, and you would say I didn't move away from what I'm currently doing. I'm doing project management. It still ties to what I'm doing, but I pivoted just a bit. I pivoted just a little bit, and no, it has nothing to do with me not liking what I do. I love what I do. I love comms. I love marketing, right? But getting into project management it's just giving me another angle. So those things, I Alright, ditoka thought, ditoka research, and all of those things, which I allowed myself to. And again, it has nothing to do with, hey, you're turning 30, or hey, social media pressures and all of those things. And I want to emphasize how unimportant those things are.
It is. And sometimes, Ora, I hear you saying that ditloka thought, ditloka ing. Sometimes you don't need any of that. You just really need to start. You just really need to throw yourself out there.
Yeah,
I mean, true. When I started working, I was working as a, what do we say, this industrial hygiene officer, like occupational hygiene. But now, like, I'm doing strategy, finance, and business intelligence. Like, never in my wildest dreams.
That's serious.
Yeah, it's quite serious.
Never,
but never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would. I mean, if you think about it as well, this position, it's for people like probably who have a substantial amount of experience in corporate.
In corporate,
you understand?
Yes.
Like, but if I had stuck to timeline, I would have never allowed myself to do it. You understand?
Exactly.
So there's a grace that's also unspoken about. I want to go to church. My friends, my friends will tell you that I'm one person. Like, I'm very guarded and secluded, but there's nothing in life that I believe in like taking a plunge. Like, I believe in taking a plunge in life.
How to
be on your best.
I need you to zoom right. Like this part, like haki. How to when you edit, you must zoom that part. I. Like, take that plunge, but when you wake up from it,
baby,
what's the opposite of plunging? Deep plunge, unplunge. Yeah.
I know, I disappoint. Unplunge, deep plunge.
But
no,
dictionary.
I believe in taking a plunge. And guys, I know we are all Christians, and there's a certain grace that each, like, I'm directly looking to the camera, not even looking at you. Mm-hmm. I need to say this. There's a certain grace that each and one of us carry. And that grace is sacred. And it's within the times where you are alone in your deepest thought, in the darkest valleys, that grace will gently pick you up. And it will put you exactly where you need to be when you need to be. But for as long as you are in a very secluded area, you don't trust to take the plunge. The grace will not locate you in that shy state. Like, like there's a verse that I'm reminded of. Now we're all over the place, but this is important. When Jesus was in the tomb, and he had to, in order for him to ascend, he had to go out, but there had to be an action that was facilitated by two people to physically open the tomb
and get him out.
Jesus by himself and God, but there still had to be a physical action that needed to happen, a human intervention that needed to happen, that led to that action that allowed Jesus to ascend. If that action of opening the tomb would have never happened, what are the chances that Jesus exactly,
right?
And you understand that the action of ascension is one of the highest actions in the Bible. Because of ascension, we have like the kingdom of heaven that we're going to inherit. The same is with us, guys. For as much as we're timeline, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to take the plunge so that when the grace locates you,
I'm getting goosebumps, guys,
and takes you out of that tomb, guys. I am telling you, for as much as I can say that I've worked, I've done this, I've had vision, but we need to acknowledge the grace that is very specific to me.
Yes.
And the grace that is very specific to you. And we'll never live up to the full potential of our grace. Because why? We don't want to take that step where we open the tomb.
Goodness.
So there's so much greatness in all of us, timeline or not. 60, 70, 95, 75.
I mean, we've read the stories. We've seen the videos of all of those people writing their first books at 55.
Exactly.
Getting their first Oscar at 80. All
you
of
understand?
Those things. We've read, we've seen. And
Bona Trevor Noah, he just got his first Oscar.
Was it an Emmy?
Oh, no, sorry, I'm sorry. It was an Emmy. The first black person in that category.
Right.
Had Trevor not, and Hollywood is such an age-infested whatever. Ageist. Like, you're 25, you're a movie star.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not at, like, young and what, chances are that you'll be
it's
passed
over
on.
for you.
But look at Trevor. In his 30s or he's turning 40, whenever, he did what he needed to do. The grace that was his and his alone pushed him.
It took him there.
You understand?
Oh, guys, like you.
And smashed all the timelines.
Thank you. It erased the entire timeline. It erased it. The timeline ceases to exist.
It ceases to exist.
It ceases to exist, and it's so important that we allow it, that grace that Lisa was talking about. Allow it, and then you will see that timeline will cease to exist.
It ceases to exist.
It will be. Listen, okay, you don't want to die tomorrow, and you don't want to die usnagulu, or you don't want to die usnandru, or whatever. I mean, we have those, right? However, I can say mafoko, but it's any kin to any more. But man.
And sometimes also when grace locates you, it can be different things, because for a lot of people they feel like, oh, timeline ya ha grace in locate na go e se ke nyalwa, timeline ya ha grace in locate na go e se ke na le koloi. Grace could locate you, and it means that like it will set you free from mental bondage. It could be that you have like mental health problems. You have like so I think also what we should understand, timelines means different things for different people. Grace means different things for different people. So you need to be able to open your eyes and be receptive to everything. I might have gotten a car at 27, but maybe I still don't have my mental health in check. You got your mental health in check at 27, and you're gonna get your car at 30. You understand? In that timelines also, be shy to peep at somebody else's whatever's going on there, because you don't know the grace they carry, and you don't know
the grace they carry, and it is theirs and
theirs alone.
It's specific to them.
So and thing is, like, shout out to everyone who graduated Banal 23 and got the car at 24 and the house at 26 and then married.
No, shout out, you did well. You did amazing.
That was the grace
that got you there.
You understand? And that is your time. I don't want to say timeline.
But it's your time.
It's your time.
It's your time.
That was your time. But we should be able to say that it's okay if the grace,
if it's not happening yet,
me at 45.
And be open to it, man. Bulapi, be open to it, and you will see. You, like Lesego was saying, grace won't necessarily be a car. Mara the minute u bula pelo u na accepting of it.
O bona gore no man, mara sa la go back room, no go la go flatting.
Exactly.
In the next 2 years, I'm sa mo flatting.
Exactly.
I've built my own house. You understand? Exactly. And that's the grace, not the timeline. The grace.
Do you know what? But when I'd love for us to have like a part 2 of this. Actually.
Okay.
I'd love for us to have a part 2.
Yeah.
Of the same chat to continue, because one thing about us, we will sit and talk.
But we can talk. You know what also I'm thinking? Like, you guys can ask us questions in our social media.
You can do that. I think, especially to continue this chat before part 2.
Before part 2,
ask us, you will like edit in our social media handles and whatever. Minnie does the editing. But thank you so much.
Second round
for making time. But
yeah, you tell us you grew up with Mutsoling without
and I'd like to thank Penya's friend Tony X, right?
Yeah, Tony
X for giving us for allowing us into his home. As you can see, we are in his home, and he allowed this stranger into his home, and he's been so welcoming and all of those things. Thank you so much to you and your brother. He fixed us drinks, had it dry this time. We finished his alcohol, and thank you to his brother as well for allowing us mukhabone, and thank you guys so much for all the love and all of that. See you again part 2. I mean, it might not be next week, it might not be the next episode.
Yes.
We'll in the timeline and so forth, but we'll definitely have a part 2 again. Get into our comments and whatever and ask us. stuff, and then we'll continue it. Part 2, Yarona. Thank you again, Lesego.
Thank you for having me, Chomi.
For this. Love you loads, guys.
Just before we go, guys, like I just want to send a shout out. Like Ora is one of those people, she will never like or whatever. So I just want to say shout out to Ora, a friend. You're doing so well, and like I know this is just only the beginning, and I think people who know your life story know, like, you've always been this person.
If you know me, you know me.
You know her, but like I'm just like, shout out to her. You're doing so well, and like, you know what, God bless you like 1,000 times from here. And you know what, ne? I'm hoping we'll be competing podcast and chill, ne? Exactly. I'm seeing it. I'm calling it. Peace. Who does the peace sign anymore?
I don't know. It's a thing though. I do
Is
it.
it? Oh.
I think even in my last podcast.